welcome to Medicine for the Soul Yoga. My name's Kat and this is part 18 of our Journey to Crow series. Today we're mixing it up a little bit and trying backwards crow. So it's a fun challenge that will work all of the same muscles and alignment as normal crow, but hopefully mixing it up a bit and giving you a bit more confidence as well. So let's get going. So we're going to start kneeling today at the back of the mat. If you feel you need a bit of extra padding for your knees, then you can roll the mat over. We will be doing quite a lot on the knees in this position, so you can go ahead and roll the end of the mat over and just place the knees on there for a bit more cushioning. And we'll place the feet on the mat, so all 10 toes are feeling kind of pushed into the ground as we roll ourselves up and roll the shoulders. So we're just going to connect with the breath for a moment. Just rolling the shoulders. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands forward, rounding off the back, draw the chin into the chest. And as we inhale, we're going to open the chest, lift up, push the hands back. As we exhale, we'll lean back with the hips slightly, push the hands away. And inhale, lift the hips forward and open the hands. So kind of like a little cat-cow, but kneeling. Exhale again, rounding, leaning back onto the feet. How far could you lean back here? And then inhale, opening, really good. Exhale, rounding one more time. Inhale, opening. Good. Exhale, we'll bring ourselves onto our shins, rolling the shoulders here. We'll bring the right fingertips to our right hand side and inhale, lift the left hand up, opening the chest. And then exhale, release, hands come back down. One more time, inhale, opening up. This time maybe, if you feel comfortable, squeezing the glutes and lifting the hips up slightly. Let the left hand really float back. This is just optional. And then gently coming back down. We'll go to the other side. So left fingertips by the left foot. Inhale, reaching the right hand up. Follow with your gaze. Exhale, releasing back down. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. Really good. Opening the chest. Option to stay here. Option to maybe lift the hips slightly and push the hips up. Squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back. Big inhale. And then exhale, we'll soften and release, really good. Coming back onto the shins, another few shoulder rolls here. So making sure the knees are about hip width apart, feet are glued down into the mat. As we inhale, we're going to reach the hands up and join the palms together, roll the shoulders away from the ears. As we exhale, we're going to engage the core and the quads to lean back. And then inhale, squeeze forward. So we're using the core. Notice how you're using the feet as well, pushing into all corners of the feet. As we exhale, lean back. How far can you go? Inhale, squeeze forward. Really good. One more time. Exhale, leaning back. And inhale, leaning forward. Really good. We'll place the hands onto the hips. And then we're going to step the right foot forward, keep it hip width apart, sink the hips down. Rolling the shoulders, interlacing the hands behind the back. Big deep breaths here as we sink the hips, opening out the inner thighs. Big deep breaths. Good. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up. And as we exhale, leaning slightly forward, maybe even lifting the right heel. Engage the core, squeeze the core into the spine. And then we'll gently push the hips back, hands onto the heels. Try with stability to come back onto the shins. Don't worry if you wobble, we'll be doing that again. Inhale, reaching the hands up. Exhale, leaning back. Engage the core to protect the lower back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming back. Squeeze in the core. Keep the chin level. Inhale back. It's okay if you're slightly shaking. I definitely am as I come back. One more time. And then coming forward, placing the hands on the hips, kind of finding your balance, and with stability, stepping that left foot forward and sinking the hips down, releasing the hands behind the back, straighten the arms, roll the shoulders, lift the chest, look up. Big deep breaths through the nose. Good, and then we'll reach the hands forward, slightly leaning forward, squeeze the belly button into the spine, maybe even lifting the left heel. Big deep breath through the nose. Good, and then we'll gently push the hips back. Again, stability here, stepping back onto the shins, really good. And then we'll dive the hands forward, and we can just take our knees off. If you rolled off the mat, we can put that back. So we want to lift up the feet and just let them rock side to side, looking over each shoulder as we move them. Good, and then finding stillness in the center. We'll take a few cat-cows here, especially noticing when you round your back, releasing the lower back from some of the back bends we just did. So just take your time here. If you feel you need any other little movements, especially for the lower back, then please do them. Rounding the back and rocking forward and back can be a really lovely stretch to get into the lower back. So really connecting with your body and what movement that it needs. It's your practice. And then we'll gently come all the way back to the shins again, rolling the shoulders. Good. So we'll just warm up the wrists slightly. Rolling the wrists in circles side to side. And then making nice waves with the hands. Shaking out the wrists. Diving the hands forward, coming into plank. We're going to engage the core a little bit more here. So pushing out the hands. Notice here whether the shoulder blades are sticking up and the chest is kind of collapsing through the shoulders. We want to push out of the hands. Almost imagine that you're wanting to round off the top of the shoulder blades. So really rounding off the top of the back. Lifting up the kneecaps. Glutes are squeezing in. Shoulders are over the wrists. Big inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll drop the knees, let the hips come down. Exhale, chest and chin comes down, reach forward with the chin. Inhale, roll up, hug the elbows in, squeeze the glutes. Really good, exhale, back to downward dog. Pedal out the heels, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Big deep breaths. We're going to come again into our vinyasa, that sequence of poses that we use in vinyasa yoga. Inhale, rolling forward to plank. Big inhale here, really strong with your plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Notice my shoulders, hips and knees are in one long line. Same exhale, drop the chest and chin, elbows hug in. Inhale, coming into our back bend, maybe a bit deeper this time. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Really good. Pedal out the heels. Take a few big deep breaths through the nose. Maybe letting the hips sway side to side, feeling that stretch traveling into the shoulders. And then finding stillness in our downward dog. Inhale again, we'll roll forward to plank. This time, option to not use the knees. Test yourself. Obviously, use your knees if you need to, but if you want to take a full vinyasa with me, we come down halfway, elbows are drawing backwards, 90 degrees, and then inhale, coming into our upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Don't worry if that's too challenging, it's something to work towards. We're going to look towards the hands, walk the feet forward, coming with the toes facing apart, and we'll sink down the hips to our low yogi squat and let the knees travel side to side, opening out the hips. Take a few deep breaths here. Good, and then pausing in the center, let the hips sink down. So we're going to flow with the breath again. As we exhale, we're going to lift the hips up, draw the heels back and push the forehead towards the legs. As we inhale, lift the heels up, bring them in and lift the chest. So exhale, heels are moving as we move as well. Inhale, coming in, lifting the chest. Good. Exhale, sinking down. So we're really working into the hips here and the hamstrings. Inhale, coming forward. Option maybe bringing the palms to the chest and just moving with the heels in the body. Using your core strength and your hip strength to keep you stabilized as you travel and bend forward and back. Good. And then we'll finally meet in our Low yogi squat, push the elbows apart with the knees, draw the palms into the chest and feel the shoulder blades drawing down the back. Closing down the eyes, just taking a few deep breaths here. Good. So we're going to set up for the arm balance that we're practicing today. And it's quite a fun one. So we need to start in our low yogi squat. Our fingers always, as always, need to be spread. Middle finger pointing forward and fingers spread as much as we can. We're going to slightly lift the hips up and walk the hands back. So we want the fingers to be about in line with the heels. And we're then going to sit back on our arms. So it feels quite strange. If you need to, you can bring the hands even further behind and slightly out to the side to make it slightly easier. So maybe the fingers can even be behind each heel. And the bottom of the hands can be lifted, but as we lean back, they come down onto the mat. And we're going to sit back and we're going to squeeze the elbows in. So it feels quite awkward and weird. Then the next step would be to kind of heel toe and crawl the feet forwards and lift the chest, hug the elbows in together. This is a really great place to be. Maybe you can hover the feet off the mat, maybe they can touch. So it's kind of like a backwards crow pose. And when you're done, you can just lower down. So have a go with that. Obviously, if it's the first time practicing, it's going to be challenging, so embrace every wobble, embrace the difficulty. It's fun to challenge your body to new things. If you'd like to look at me practicing again, I'll go over it again. So we lift the hips up slightly, we draw the hands back and out to the side, fingertips about in line with the heels if possible, and then we sit back. We really need to be hugging our elbows in, lifting the chest. We don't want to be looking down, we want to be looking up, and gently leaning back. Obviously just staying here if that's where you feel comfortable for now. If you can, maybe we can bring the toes more into center. Maybe we can hover one foot and then the other and just play around with that. Maybe even bringing both toes together as well. So this is a really great exercise to build up strength that we need for crow pose, build up confidence. So have a little go with that, and when you are done, we can come into wide leg child's pose. Bring the knees apart, sink the hips back, slide the hands forward, forehead resting on the mat. And take a few deep breaths here. Feel the chest melting down. Maybe let the knees slide apart a bit wider than normal to really release out the inside of the hips. And then we'll gently come up with the body, walk the hands back towards the body and draw the knees into the chest. Really good. Big roll of the shoulders here. Shake out any tension in the upper body, maybe in some nice twists. Can interlace the hands and let the hands roll around. Good. So we're going to come into a strength exercise. That is a really great one for building strength in the upper body that we need for crow pose or any real arm balance really. So we start in downward facing dog. There's an option to take a vinyasa here if you would like. Otherwise, just rest in your downward dog. If you would like to take your vinyasa, please do. Whatever that looks like for you. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Good. So we're going to walk the feet slightly forward. So just a step forward and bend the legs. Let the heels lift up. So we're in our downward dog, but the legs are bent, heels are lifting. And we're going to look forward towards the hands. And we're going to take little push-ups here. So if you just watch me do one to start with, and then we'll do 5 together. So we want to keep the hips lifting up. Keep the face looking towards the hands. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the face towards the hands. Let the elbows come out to the side. So everything else stays the same, but we just bring the face down, elbows out to the side, and push back up. So exhale down. Inhale, push up. Good. So we're going to do 5 more. Bring the elbows out to the side. How low can you get the head? Really challenge yourself to bring it down and push it back up. Squeeze the core as well. Good. 3 more. Really working into the arm muscles here. You can hopefully feel them. That's what we need to build. Good. 1 more. And gently coming back. Walk the hands back towards the feet, bending the legs and coming into a nice forward fold. Good, gently swaying side to side here, feels nice. Big deep breaths through the nose. Option to take rest here, child's pose or staying in your forward fold. Option to do 5 more push-ups with me. Release out the wrists if you need to. Walk the hands forward, remembering quite a short stance in our downward dog. Legs are bent, heels are lifting up. Look towards the hands. And again, we'll take 5, 4, elbows out to the side. 3, really good. 2, last one. How far down can you bring your forehead? Maybe even touching the floor. Ooh. Good. And then again, walking back to the feet, this time interlacing the hands behind the back, keep the legs bent, let the hands release over the top of the head, releasing out the shoulders. Take a big deep breath in, and a big exhale, let the hands float further over the head. Good. Gently releasing the hands down. Walking the hands forward, back to downward facing dog. Option to just rest in downward dog. Option to take a last vinyasa. Make it a really strong one if you're taking it. Flow with the breath. Really enjoy that feeling of flowing with strength. Good. Pedal out the heels. Bring the knees down towards the mat. And let the feet come to one side, gently coming onto the hips. And bring the feet forward, shuffling ourselves forward. Wrapping the arms around the legs, leaning back slightly into the legs. Draw the chin to the chest. Taking a few deep breaths here. Good, lifting the chin. So last little exercise we'll do to work the core, our favourite boat pose. So we want to be lengthening from the lower back. So imagine the spine is really straight and we're keeping the chest lifting, shoulders drawing away from the ears, palms facing up, lean back slightly. So already we can feel the core working. We want to squeeze the belly button into the spine. Maybe here is enough for you today. Maybe we can lift the feet. Keep the spine straight. We want that integrity with our alignment. Squeeze the belly button into the spine. We're going to place the hands together and the 4 fingers together, pointing. Exhale to the left, inhale up. Exhale to the right, inhale up. Squeezing in the core, flowing with your breath. Exhale, inhale, squeeze to center. Option to stay here or option to move with the legs. So to the left, right leg straightens, inhale back up. To the right, left leg straightens, inhale back up. Really good. 3 more times. Keep breathing. 1 more, really good. Lengthening, maybe straightening the legs for the last moment, and then releasing, and we'll rock and roll on the spine. Hands over the knees. Good. Let the feet gently come over the head if you can, and really feel that releasing the lower back. And then we'll all gently find our way onto the back with the knees hugged into the chest. We'll let both knees fall to the left-hand side and then open the right hand out to the side with the palm facing up. Draw the right shoulder blade down as well. Big deep breath through the nose. Inhale, using the core to squeeze ourselves up to center, and exhale over to the right. Look over the left shoulder. Big deep breath through the nose. Feel everything releasing as you exhale. Good. Gently coming up to center. Happy baby to finish. So we'll open the knees out wide, hold to the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. Gently rocking side to side. Feeling that lovely release of the inside of the hips. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Big deep breath through the nose. Good, and we'll draw the feet together. Really, really good. Let the feet land onto the mat. Lengthening one leg and then the other with the palms facing up. Take a big inhale through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. Feel everything softening and relaxing deeper into the ground. Feel the breath landing into the lower tummy. Feel the face softening. Feel the breath slowing. And feeling a wave of pride and gratitude for yourself for showing up today and committing to strengthening the body and strengthening the mind as well. And staying here with your breath for as long as you can or feel you need to today.